Welcome to the Value Seller Talks with Deepak Bajaj, where we delve into the minds of academics and industry experts to cover invaluable insights. Today, we are thrilled to have Dr. Surya Prakash, an associate professor in supply chain management at Great Lakes Institute of Management, Gurgaon, with over 15 years of extensive experience in academia, research, training. Dr. Surya Prakash brings a wealth of knowledge in operations, management, and Industry 4.0, which is the need of the hour. Join us as we explore his journey and dive deep into the world of supply chain excellence and optimizations. Welcome, Dr. Surya.
Thank you, Deepak, and thank you very much to invite me to your show and then expressing my views here. I have been watching your videos. You are really doing a wonderful job.
Thank you. Thank you so much for such appreciation. And yeah, we are pleased because your expertise is required, and most of the people want to understand what is going in that part of the world where you are having a great hold and great experience. Right. So before we move forward, we would like to know who is Dr. Surya Prakash as a person.
Absolutely. So Deepak, I am teacher by choice. This is something which I can definitely say. And I love to teach. I love to research. While working, I've been academic since 2006. So since then, I was trying to create an impact through teaching, transforming the life of the students. And I absolutely love to help my student even outside the classroom as well. I devoted a lot of time in terms of researching certain topics of my interest, particularly my specialization, supply chain management, optimization, Industry 4.0, manufacturing excellence, and the various topics over the period of time. Recently, I have started taking the interest in the sustainability aspect as well. Uh, uh, you remember we invited you for our one event as well. So that was related to warehousing. So logistics, supply chain, teaching those courses, creating value in terms of skilling the future managers. So this is what where I am contributing.
Wow. And as the name mentioned, this warehousing and the research, this itself is it's a very looks very complicated thing, but how you guys are managing that time, that is also commendable. Thank you, Dr. Surya.
Yeah.
So if I move into your academic journey, right? So it spans across various domains, as you rightly mentioned, supply chain management, operation research, and industry 4.0. So could you share with us how your experience have shaped your approach in teaching and research in these areas as well?
Deepak, it's before teaching, I think we should understand why these things are required.
Hmm.
So when you talk about supply chain management, let me tell you when this started all. I think before COVID, people was not giving much value to the supply chain as a functional area of industry.
Yes.
Only the COVID is something and marquee event which has created a lot of buzz around the supply chain. When people witness that there is a lot of stock outs happening, essential things are missing, global supply chains are not performing because of restrictions and made in many other regions, then people realize that, oh, there is a merit in studying the supply chain as well.
Hmm.
So let me tell you, I did my PhD in supply chain risk management, and that was before COVID. So it was like, very routine academic topic that
Hmm.
what are the various types of risk which can be investigated to make the supply chain of the companies robust. But suddenly COVID happened, and suddenly we also witnessed there is a lot interest of the industry also in the risk management practices.
Correct.
And that has given a lot of interest of general public as well. Nowadays, anyone who read a newspaper and watch TV definitely is familiar with the term supply chain, which is now a very generic term. So what I can say here is that the supply chain from the past, it was essentially the part of the industry. It
Hmm.
will remain part of the industry even today and in future also. Technologies may be coming, but certainly you need some physical products need to be produced, need to be delivered at right place, at right cost, at right time. So, so whatever dynamics is happening, whatever kind of challenges are happening in the industry, supply chain and the distribution and the logistics will remain here. Let me give you another example of, apart from the COVID, there are a lot of geopolitical events which are happening, whether it is a Ukraine-Russia war, whether it is US-China relations in terms of the trade, whether it is the relation of Taiwan with China, and whether it's a relation of India with China also. So somehow China is figuring quite a lot in terms of supply chain nowadays. And there is an interesting term called China plus one. So China plus one is what? Relocating the supply chain to any suitable location other than the China to create a backup. As simple as it is. So all these events are the part of the business dynamics. And when you try to understand the whole equation, you will find that supply chain is the main character in this whole story. And over to it, the role of technology, your onset of AI, blockchain, Industry 4.0, so everything is culminating to a direction which is making the supply chain a very interesting topic to study, which is making supply chain a very much functional area for future managers as well. Industries in future definitely require the experts, the managers, the talent, which can handle the dynamic situation of the supply chain and operations altogether. When you are asking about the imparting the knowledge and teaching the supply chain part, what I can tell you that I personally follow a lot of interesting ways of delivering the core concepts of supply chain. One of them is including the case studies. And that those case studies are of two types. One, which is already as a Harvard teaching cases, and second, the cases which we are actually consulting with the industry. They are problem which as a consultant, as an expert, which we are solving. So those learning also I'm incorporating in the course delivery, and along with it, there is a lot of simulations which are happening, whether it is database simulation or it is a game-based simulation. So I conduct this game called beer distribution game. Every time hundreds of students participate in it. Every year, it is one of the event where we invite all the class of MBA to participate in the in that particular simulation game, where we impart them that how in the supply chain domain things works. What is the role of inventory? How to handle the inventory, by the way. Okay, so there are a lot of interesting pedagogical things which we are adopting while delivering the course and preparing these future managers.
No, it's a great initiative, as well as I totally understand if the students learn it beforehand, so the way they are going to absorb in the market and the way they are going to contribute in the industry is really a different thing. They don't have to go for the learning in the internship period or probation period. They have to actually implement about the latest trend which you are imparting in them. So
That is the prime purpose. We are not only teaching them. The purpose is to train them. These managers should be deployable directly to the industries. So all the cases, all the scenarios, all the simulations, all the theoretical concept, they all should be aligning to the real outcome, that these managers should be well informed. They can apply the skills, the knowledge they have gained in the classroom in the real business scenarios as well. So that is the prime purpose of delivering high quality content with a lot of pedagogical tools.
And that's make the Great Lakes a total differentiator among within the education industry. So thanks.
Certainly.
Right. No, it's interesting, and I know the supply chain. If we continue, it will continue for a longer time. But yes, I would like to get your opinion on what is the biggest challenges and opportunities which you have seen in optimizing this supply chain, the part which we have discussed, and especially in today's where the business environment is totally rapidly changing and it's very dynamic.
A very interesting question when you talk about challenges and what are the things which is forcing these challenges. Let me answer this by just reframing your question. You said about optimizing the supply chain. So let me tell you, no more the optimization is valid in the current times. These times are very challenging, not because of one factor. Multiple factors are working in synergy to challenge the organizations. Okay,
Mm,
so optimization is not only the purpose of the current businesses. It is more making them more robust, reliable, and resilient, and more agile.
mm,
Optimization, of course, it did make a lot of sense in terms of costing part. So
correct.
you typically try to, make certain things in the least cost. But current times are more aligned with the challenges which they are facing.
True.
So the what I have felt lately post COVID, that the organizations have already started working on making their supply chain more resilient, more robust.
Mm,
Let me give you one example. To save certain amount of money, the pre-COVID supply chains was having an obsession to find the global suppliers, whatever place they can find.
mhm,
They'll go to China, they'll go to Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, okay, a lot of places altogether to just save money. Now, global supply chain are becoming slowly a very complicated thing to handle.
mm,
And it is happening because of, again, multiple reasons. One of them is geopolitical, as I told you earlier.
yeah.
So now when the global operations, particularly from the supply chain perspective, sourcing perspective, okay, it is becoming challenging. Cost is not something which is challenging the organizations. It is the availability of material. You can recall there is a lot of shortage of semiconductor chips. There was a shortage of critical elements, metals, and paints, and a lot of other things. Even the API for pharmaceutical industry.
Mm,
So the days has been arrived where the self-reliance should be there. So if when you are asking me about the challenge, I will definitely say the first and the foremost challenge is how to handle the disruptions.
right.
And all this story is actually culminating towards handling those disruptions properly.
Mm,
In case of India, again, I can give an example of pharmaceutical industry. Around 80% we are APIs, the active pharmaceutical ingredients we are sourcing from China and the other countries.
mhm,
But COVID has given a hard lesson. Now, government of India has started PLI. These
mm,
PLI schemes are aligned to make the Indian pharmaceutical industry to venture into creating APIs, so that the sourcing part become more resilient. Of
mm,
course, in the starting it will be costly. You have to build the capacity, you have to invest to make the plants, to
correct.
skill the people, and then everything will goes into it. Government is also helping through PLI. So this entire ecosystem is again restarting, and the outcome is, of course, there is a trend of decreasing imports from China in terms of the API. So this is a very successful case
Correct.
where how to deal with the disruption is actually demonstrated by the Indian businesses. So this is the first challenge, that disruptions. The second challenge, which I think is the adoption of technology,
Mm,
because all of us are witnessing a very exciting time in terms of advancement in technology.
true.
Now, advancement in technology and the adoption of technology to the industry, there are two things.
Mm,
And from creating a new ways of dealing with the business processes functions, and then deploying it into the sectors,
mm,
it is very challenging thing. And it is also true for Industry 4.0 basket of technologies as well. So the next challenge is technology is there, capabilities is there, how the industry is responding to it, how much they are adopting it as a successful case. So adoption of the technology and getting the benefit from that particular technology will be the second challenge. Now, if I again make it more contextual to the supply chain, yes, the past supply chain and the future supply chain technology is the differentiator. We all need the items next day when we order on e-commerce. This 10-minute delivery, next day delivery is happening because of the highly integrated technology to the platforms. Without technology, simply it cannot happen. So the classic problem of supply chain, time versus money. If you reduce time, you have to spend a lot of money. This has been solved by the technology. And the more such kind of technological adoption and the successful adoption will happen, we will see that the face of the operations in a typical manufacturing firm, typical service industry, they will be changing quite a lot.
Correct.
Third thing, there are a lot of challenges, but I'll try to make the point with the third as well, which is about the sustainability. Sustainability is something which is a buzzword. We have been hearing quite a lot the kind of damage we are making to Mother Earth.
True.
Classical supply chains are linear. You take the resources from Earth, you convert, add value into the product, you consume and you throw. So this model was going on almost last 100 years of industrialization. Recently, it has been, found in almost all research that we need to change it. Why we need to change it? Because there is a limited availability of resources. Even your oil is limited. Now, if you replace the oil with lithium, particularly in automotive industry, lithium is also limited. Everything is limited. Okay, remove the lithium, just bring the hydrogen. Hydrogen is also limited in terms of water, which can be, again, scarcity in various places. So everything is limited and there is no denial about this fact. So the most sensible thing is to consume sustainably, to produce sustainably. And this grand challenge of sustainable consumption and sustainable production can be achieved when we close the loop of the supply chain. We need to actually do it for almost all products which are produced.
Correct.
There are certain successful cases also. For example, lithium ion, not lithium ion, as lead acid batteries. All the lead acid batteries are successfully recycled. Almost 95%, let me tell you. Not from today. Last 20-30 years. All the lead acid batteries are successfully recycled. Very wonderful business model is already out there. It is working perfectly fine. Now, on a similar lines, we have to think for almost all white goods. Does all the washing machines are also recycled? Are we extracting the value, the raw material, the copper and etc. from the used every used washing machine? Is there any business model? Does the companies who produces these white goods, are they taking their product back? Is it happening successfully? No. So somehow extract, make and dispose, use and dispose. This model need to be disturbed, need to be redefined, and an element of again taking back the product and sensibly recycling it should be there. This is called closing the loop in the supply chain, so that the circular supply chain becomes a reality for the industry and in practice. And how to do it, it is really a challenging task because recycling brings a lot of cost. And
Correct.
now that cost versus the value which you are getting through the recycle, this need to be matched.
Correct.
So that is one of the challenge.
No, I understand. Your thoughts and your the 3 points has actually make, I am pretty sure that a lot of viewers and a lot of audience will rethink how to do that, and especially this example of this washing machine. So that is can be a, if such type of white goods can be refabricated or can be reused again in the form of the equipment or in the form of the stuff which has been incorporated there like copper and dust, that will create a huge boost to the, not to the mother nature as well as to the economy. As you rightly mentioned, circular economy is the need of the hour.
Yes, so see again I will highlight it. There is a huge scope of right business model. In lead acid battery, there is already a right business model.
Correct.
But in case of white goods, there is no right business model. It gives an enough opportunity for future managers and entrepreneurs to think how to extract the value from this unexplored area.
Correct. No, I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. And I was talking with some international clients, and these guys are actually struggling to get the stuff at their doorstep, especially a lot of developing or underdeveloped countries. So yeah, such type of model can really help both the continents in a better way.
Deepak, you really bring a very interesting point here. Some of the European Union countries have already made this take back policy for the manufacturers. And for them, it is seems to be working as well. There's a few limited case available. But just look at the size of our country. Just look at the type of sectors, the diversity of the businesses in India. Our cultural things, that how we treat the waste. Recently, I did a project for one of the state government. To my surprise, the one of the hindrance that people do not support closing the loop in supply chain was the cultural part. Technology is there, mechanism is there, but the cultural thing is something which is preventing people not to support a lot of initiatives in terms of closing the loop. So the solution should be customized to India. There may be some use cases abroad, successful use cases. Now, how to take those and put into the Indian context and make them successful. This is one of the challenge.
Acceptance, you mentioned acceptance. Right. Great insights, and thank you for bringing all these points. And sometimes everything is in front of your eyes, but to put a 1 or 2 level deep down is really need experts. And thank you for bringing that thing that someone from the community is working on that. Right. So I focus now on the industry 4.0 as you are a certified 4.0 industry professional. You have insights in the technological advancement, which you have clearly mentioned in a few minutes back. So how can the business effectively leverage industry 4.0 technologies to enhance their operation and stay competitive?
Yeah. Thank you. Again, it is a very interesting question. So, one of my last assignment, I think 5 years or 6 years ago, when this buzzword Industry 4.0 was just coming up, we decided to float an entire course on it. So we designed a course called Fundamentals of Industry 4.0 for one of the school. And it was subscribed by lot many people, and still it is running. So it means there is a merit. There is a demand in industry, and there is a merit in skilling the people at the education level also in terms of Industry 4.0. Now, this term Industry 4.0 is again a very interesting. It is not one technology. It is the basket of many contextual technologies, which if applied in a synergy, will create a wonderful result for the industry, including tackling the challenge of sustainability, including the challenge of tackling the disruptions as well. So the results are going to happen very positive. But if you look from the perspective of an application of it in the industry, it is not that great, particularly for those countries who are in the developing stage, because their economy is dominated by SMEs. And those SMEs and the small units, they do not have much funds to adopt the latest technology. But there is no denial. For example, if I can list the advantages of the set of technologies adoption, it can yield the result in terms of adopting the automation, in terms of adopting the robotics, in terms of replacing the current centralized manufacturing through the 3D printing.
Correct.
So you need not to create a lot of waste while doing the subtractive manufacturing processes.
True.
Now you must have seen videos of homes being built through the 3D printing, ornaments to be built through 3D printing. High value items can be definitely created by 3D printing. So fashion industry, apparel industry, automotive industry, airline and these manufacturing industry. So these are the front runner in terms of adopting the 3D printing, one of the essential element of industry 4.0. The other aspect of I4O is the data. We have been talking about the data since ages, but the type of application, the kind of benefits, and recently whatever we are witnessing in terms of LLM models like generative AI, etc. So now the time is absolutely right, even for small companies, to at least adopt these insight making data analysis technologies. And it will, because the cost has been reduced quite a lot, and hence the level of adoption is also increasing. So this is one of the one technology aspect of I4O. The other can be the this cyber physical systems in the I4O, where you will create a digital version of the physical items, and then you try to evaluate, optimize, and create the systems which you can remotely control also. So cyber physical system is going to play a critical role in future. You'll be surprised to know that nowadays people can create the entire entire digital version of an entire city. Entire city, including all facilities, road infrastructure, everything, and whatever energy, water, all essential elements, and their perfect optimized design, which can be, of course, done and possible. So the benefits are quite huge, not only related to manufacturing, but a lot of other industries as well. I would like to mention use of AI, use of machine learning, artificial intelligence as a allied field of the industry 4.0. Now, because I always love to talk about supply chain a bit. So industry 4.0, when adopted in the supply chain and operations, how it is going to impact. So if that angle we explore a little bit, we will get to know that the immediate benefit is, of course, handling 1, 2, 3 challenges, which I already said. Apart from it, creating the visibility in the supply chain. Because what I believe, if something becomes visible, you can track it, you can trace it. Once you start tracking and tracing, a lot of optimization is also possible. Lot of savings are also possible. lot of problem identification and their subsequent mitigation is also possible. And everything becomes very cost effective. Okay, so these are some kind of application of I4O which I can think as of now in this discussion.
Yeah, and also, when you say the data, especially the role of sensors, and again, which is required in masses to deploy across the floors or in the industry, that is, and we always talk about nowadays we all are talking about AI and others, but when this term before AI, we talk about the big data, the variety of data, the volume of the data, and the the veracity of the data. So
Yes,
that all going to, and then you put an orchestration on top of that to bring some real side input, action.
absolutely. Yes, you're right. Absolutely right.
Yeah, so it's a great thing to have, because now we talk about, I remember some of the automobile industries, and they are talking about creating a not 100% automation, but robotic base 80% is something which they are already working on. I'm not sure about the Indian side, but I'm pretty sure a lot of companies are doing, and a lot of manufacturing plants have started implementing that. So great, thank you, Dr. Surya, for bringing that insights. Now, when I move from industry to the research and the development projects, so as you spend, especially your research spans across various projects, from retrofitting machines for Industry 4.0 to optimizing healthcare supply chains as well. So, could you share a standout project you have worked on, the impact which it had created on the industry or a particular organization?
Okay. So you have given me example of one of my project, which was retrofitting one machine for I4O standards. So basically that project, what we did, we taken one milling machine and we deployed couple of sensors and we stored the data of those sensors on cloud. And after that, we created one algorithm so that machine can decide that what should be the parameters to handle a certain job as per the CNC program. So it was very kind of interesting project we did a few years ago. And by seeing that project, one of the automotive industry also invited us, and then we visited their facilities, and they captured this idea in practice at the later stage. So very kind of satisfying thing from that project which I achieved. Recently, the other projects which I can talk about, I think one project we dealt with creating the e-waste policies for one of the state in the India. I would not like to name the state, but yeah, and that project was funded with the ICSSR, and we first we went to the fields, in the various district of that particular state. We identified what are the SOPs which are being practiced by the companies who are responsible to collect and process the e-waste. Okay, and how they are doing the things and why the collection and the processing is not a good business model. However, there is a lot of value in the e-waste. E-waste is one of the valued thing, but it is something which was missing. So in-depth study was conducted for almost 6 months or something, and then we came out with our recommendation and submitted to the government. And now they are designing or you can say devising and modifying the e-waste policy for it. So this was one of the satisfying project which we recently concluded, this year itself. Another project which I can tell is again related to the optimization of inventory.
Mhm.
So so there is a very famous hospital, and that hospital runs around 20 something OT, operation theaters. Now, if you are day and night conducting operations, and every operations required a fixed kind of inventory as well as the variable things depending upon what type of operations is being carried out, correct? Surgery particularly. So there is a huge requirement of the items which are routine items and the special items as per the timeline of the operation. And there is a great value in that inventory. I mean, you know that medical
Correct.
equipments and medical items are not that cheap. They are really costly things also. So our task was to review the inventory system and analyze it, come back with some kind of solution so that the hospital can save some money. And it was really a very exciting project. We deployed a lot of inventory control and management uh, tools out there like ABC, FSN, VED. A lot of things we deployed there, and the results were good. The hospital was, particularly the store department was able to save 15 to 20% of money annually by simply optimizing the inventory. Means right item at right place at right time.
Hmm.
Very, very simple thing, not as some kind of, magic. But people try to ignore it. They don't know that they are actually wasting lot of time. They are wasting lot of items
Yeah.
which need to be not there.
Hmm.
And hence, if they will deploy certain very simple tools and train their people, these all wastes can be eliminated very easily. But somehow people love the status quo. They want whatever is running, just keep on running. Somebody has to tell them that you are wasting a lot of resources out there. So this was one of the good project. Recently, I have been in consulting of couple of e-commerce companies, particularly the warehousing sector. So I can disclose the things. But yeah, there is a transformation happening in terms of warehousing,
Hmm.
and use of technology is there, and how to transform the existing facilities into more robust SOPs, so that the logistics cost can be reduced, so that the end mile delivery cost can be reduced, so that the efficiency while serving the customer can be improved.
Hmm.
So a lot of indicators of typical e-commerce sector, which can be definitely improved if we look at the problem through a different lens of the technology as well as the optimization, both put together. Okay. Of course, from the research angle, use of blockchain, investigating the sustainability and then investigating the various interventions in terms of policy making, implementation, and adoption in the supply chain, operations, logistics, these kind of things which I am quite,
Hmm.
investing time.
So yeah, you rightly mentioned, giving the purpose of just to save the waste, right? So that itself is a broad topic, and yeah, people are taking the available resources and the facilities for the granted. I mentioned.
Deepak, you simply need someone who can tell you.
Correct.
There are a lot of tools available which was very simple.
Hmm.
You need not to, transform everything through technology. There are so many things which simply, with the simplistic approach, which you can do. Okay, so there is a 5S, there is a 4 field map, there is a value stream mapping. So if somebody do such kind of simple exercises on their organizations, a lot of value can be unlocked.
True. True. Agree. I totally agree with you. And the 15-20% in a medical sector is a huge saving. Well, obviously the numbers are you know the numbers better than us, but still, each equipment or each stuff is very costly. And if that hopefully this benefit will be passed on to the patients and their families.
Yes, that's how things works. If the
Yes.
organization saves some money, it can actually translate it to the customer as well.
True. Right. So, my next question is on the teaching and the mentorship part. So, as an academician and the PhD thesis supervisor, you play a crucial role in shaping the future leaders in the field. So, what advice you would like to give to the students to prepare them for the challenge in the industry?
So there is two part of it. One is related to the kind of, guiding them, supervising them, which I constantly doing, whether it is a master's student or PhD students. So whatever the setup we have a very oiled machinery in our institute, which take care of so many things. I mean, almost everything which I can say. So our part is more in terms of creating these future leaders and imparting the high quality content in classroom
Hmm.
and make sure the learning outcome should happen. Correct. Rest of the things will be taken care by the system itself. So I am privileged to say this thing. And from the supervision perspective and guidance perspective, what I say that while particularly these PhD students. So if somebody is doing PhD, they should definitely think about selecting the problem which makes sense,
Got it.
selecting the problem which is from India.
Hmm.
Why to select a research problem which is a problem of some other country? I don't. I'm personally found it very strange. Okay, so you talk to industry when you are starting your journey. You visit the industries, you talk to the industry leaders, managers, CEOs or whosoever you can get in contact. And whatever the academic gap you have identified, try to map it with the industry need. So that simple trick will make your study highly relevant.
Hmm. Right.
It will not only be acceptable to the academia but also in the industry circles as well. And as a because ultimately all these students majorly will translate into becoming a prof. So it will also help the students to understand that how businesses perform, what is the viewpoint of the other parties. As a researcher, they definitely will be talking to professors and then creating, that kind of wisdom.
Hmm.
But along with it, if you will keep on interacting with the industry, it will give you the viewpoint of the end user of your invention. So that is the one thing. Second thing is always look the kind of contemporary skill set is required by the industries or by the employer, whether I will say.
Hmm.
So whatever the contemporary skill set is required, one should have a close eye on it.
Hmm.
Keep identifying the best courses.
Hmm.
Keep reading. One of the platform, of course, you are quite highly active on LinkedIn. So there are, I myself read a lot of articles on LinkedIn, apart from the research papers and the published work, because that's where a lot of people express their experience.
Yeah. Correct.
So you have to have that kind of habit of updating yourself, you know, make the effort to acquire new skills and reach out to the industry patterns and then identify the correct things for it. That way, which I believe everyone who is investing time in the study can definitely become more employable, because now you start thinking about the industry ultimately.
Hmm. Correct. Correct. Because you align with the frequency which industry is asking and demanding for. So,
Yes, 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 and it is absolutely required for PG. The first section of my talk was related to more PhD students.
correct.
For the PG student, I think they should also work on the same lines,
Hmm.
because they are somehow starting their journey after post graduation, and this is the last degree for many students.
Hmm.
I mean, very few translate to PhD after PG. So PG is generally considered one of the last degree for someone. So they have to utilize this time very judiciously. Invest it to acquire all the skills required. First of all, identify the area of interest. It is very important. PG students should not be confused where they want to go. Invest some time where you would like to go. This is a bigger question. After that, follow the leader of that particular domain, role, and whatever thing you are. Identify top 20 leaders. And then simply browse through their profile, their certifications, and etc. And simply copy paste it with your things. It will make things very easy, because maybe it will not be happening today, but the effort taken by a particular students today will yield the results tomorrow.
True, true. Yeah, you rightly mentioned the important aspect that people are confused, and this confusion actually is not with the startups, or no, not start with the students, even with the mid-age experienced professionals also, because I'm talking with a lot of one. So yes, you gave a right thing where to start, and the starting is the most difficult, most easy as well as most difficult to execute, because it takes a lot of brainstorming. So thank you for giving that direction. And I'm pretty much sure that a lot of people will get enriched with this statement. Thank you.
Thanks.
Now, we are also following you on your portals and your activities, social media. So what we have found is that your educational portals are, and you have founded some of the educational portals and creating educational content on social media, especially on the YouTube. And how do these ventures complement your academic pursuits? And what lesson you have learned from your own entrepreneurship journey?
I'll not say entrepreneur as such, but yeah, I did a little bit of experimentation around the things which I was, you know, handling at some point of time. So during PhD, as I was quite passionate, I created one portal, researchervine.com, which helped the researchers to identify a right journal. And because it was not creating revenue, so I have to close it down. Second thing was related to one of the portal which was automatically creating the content according to a profile. Let's say you put in fact your profile into that certain things, and it will populate a lot of content which you lot of courses and lot of things, videos, etc., to a specific profile that you can actually do it. So all these things which I have did is somehow a great learning experience. So I know how to code certain things. I am from engineering background, so I keep on experimenting at some point of time those things. And it was not only fun, but also it gives you a lot of skills also, that how things works in the industry where you fail. Correct. So it is equally important to know how to succeed, as well as to handle the things and to know how the things can go wrong as well. So that's the one part. Of course, the content creation thing, which was happening because of as it happened to everybody during the pandemic, everyone was free. So I started learning how to create video and this and that. So I think that was the only part. But one thing was that because of this whole journey, I connected to a couple of startups. And then I started mentoring them in terms of creating the IPR, because a startup is something those people do lot of new things, but they could not comprehend it because their focus is where to create the value, acquire the customer, and somehow win the market. They never care about that what new things which they are doing, which can be converted into the either design patent, process patent, product patent, or any other kind of IPR. So I am actively consulting a few firms on how to realize the patents, how the technology which they are using can be protected. And one startup has actually granted 4 patents just because of this exercise of mine. So I'm happy to share that.
Wow.
So this is something which I did in past. Yeah, that's
Uh,
it.
No, yeah, exactly. Because when they move into this new role of the startups, and the life is different, and most of them
Yes.
are actually behind the customers. And as you mentioned, these type of exercise, patent, and creating a USP of themselves. I don't call it a USP. I call it a VSP, value selling proposition. Right? That's the new word. So thank you for mentoring these startup. They need such type of hand holding, although they agree or not, but they need it. Right. So I will be more focused now on your personal passion as well as personal fun, I should also say. So outside of your academia, you find excitement in the motorcycle riding and are active member of the Royal Enfield Bikers Club, the Proud Club. So how does your passion for riding contribute in growing your personal and professional life as well?
Uh, Deepak, it is something which is, sometimes you need kind of a window for fresh air. So biking is something which I enjoy. There is a good team of bikers out there in my town, and we organize a couple of events going some kind of, short visits. I'm not into much long rides, but yeah, definitely certain short visits. And apart from it, certain awareness campaign in terms of traffic, accident, etc. We generally organize those kind of events. So I am, kind of person who would like to ride the bike and then, feel the thrill of that particular machine. So that's it. I mean, it's a very personal thing to do. And then second thing is, of course, the cricket. I follow it and then I play also. These are the two things which generally I do as a, something apart from the academics, which give you a little bit of fulfillment.
And the thrilling match which we have seen on weekend,
Yes, entire night, the
when
World Cup final.
World Cup final,
It
yeah,
was great feeling.
was a great feeling. Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, you have a cup in your hand, right?
Yes, after so many years.
After so many years, yes, true. Very proud moment for whole India. And yeah, as we all are, passionate about the cricket, so this is something which keeps us moving as well. I moved to the last question. So looking ahead, so what trends do you anticipate the shaping of the future of the supply chain management and operations?
I think I somehow answered this question in my earlier responses. The way technology is transforming, the way industry industry are progressing to handle the uncertainties, you know, the way new type of skills need to be imparted, you know, so a lot of has been changing.
Mhm.
You can actually, this question should be industry specific. Very generic answer will not help much. You talk about the way challenges faced by the automotive sector. Now you yourself will be very much enlightened to know that the EVs are taking the place. New players are coming, old players are dying.
Mm.
Old technology is being replaced. Some new supply chain have been formed. So very every industry, in fact, is facing a different or other kind of challenge, and it will keep on facing it. But it is about the I can only talk about the supply chain perspective because I can't claim the entire domain as such. But from the supply chain perspective, it is going to stay. How much changes will be there? It's going somebody, you need somebody who will ensure that products, physical products are produced, shipped, and reaching at the right spot. And if you, it is not only the physical products, even in the service sector also, a
Mm.
human to human interaction will always remain.
Yeah.
The great service will be satisfying the customer, whether technology in sync with the human.
Mm.
I am firm believer that the entire technology 100% will not satisfy the customer in terms of service sector. Always there will be a human angle to it.
True.
The both will be going hand in hand. That's way that is the only way which I can think as of now. So to achieve it, of course, again you bring the industry and there is a list of challenges for it.
Correct.
So the challenges are very much specific, but the broader common sense says it that the technologies along with the human will be the right solution for so many problems of the future.
Right. Yeah, I 100% agree with you because people generally claim that, AI is going to replace humans, but it will never happen. And I always believe that, one solution will reveal other problems and you need human creativity and intelligence as always.
Yes.
Right. So thank you, Dr. Surya, for sharing your valuable insight with us today. To our audience, I believe that you have learned it and understand how the academics are working and and it's not a traditional one. And the leaders like Dr. Surya is creating a new wave in the academic and the education sector. So I must say your academics and the education is in reliable and the safe hands. So thank you, Dr. Surya, for your
Thank you,
sharing
Deepak.
learning experience. And to the audience, until next time, so this is Deepak Bajaj. Stay tuned. Thank you.